What is going on? Welcome back to Attack on Cowboys. We have the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys speaking at the podium today. We're going to take a listen and react to the full press conference. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content just like this. Day 2, y'all. Day 2. Man, shut your up. All right, Brian Schottenheimer, please save us from the drama that Micah and Jerry got going on. Please save us, bro.
Micah Parsons, what is the plan for him? Because yesterday he indicated he's got a little back issue, and obviously
That's only in one ear.
Thing. How are you going to try to manage all that with him?
Yeah, usually we go through the morning. As soon as I'm done here, we go and communicate with all of our players. We look at the practice plan, we see how they're feeling, and so as soon as I get done here, I'll go in there and get the report on all the guys, really.
Hold on. That's just one earlobe. That sounds weird, boy.
Here I'll go in there and get. No, hey, look, I'm here to coach the team. I talk all the time about the business side of this thing, and the business side gets hard at times. But again, I focus on the fact that the guys are here, we're working. I thought it was a really good start yesterday. It wasn't a great start. We were a little sloppy with the ball. I didn't think we finished practice great, but my focus right now is just trying to get all these guys together, working together, learning how to practice. Again, the ramp-up period's been good for us, but we got to learn how to get ready because in a couple days we're in pads and the real stuff's getting ready to tee off.
Hell yeah, the real stuff, bro. What's up with is the audio just like that? Okay, I think it's just the video.
The things you've done.
Yeah, I mean, I won't compare it to what Mike did. I thought, I really liked and a lot of things we did, under Mike. My philosophy is, again, get these guys on the field.
That was
we
a
ask them
question.
to run around a lot and move around a lot. I think what I try to do is get them on the field, get them off. But they got to give us what we want in terms of effort and all that.
There we go.
So I would say some of the practices might be a little bit shorter, but we're trying to get the numbers, the GPS numbers, the catapult numbers up a little bit higher. But we're allowed certain amounts of time, and if they're not putting out, which they always have, then we can make practices up to 2.5 hours as we get going. But I think these guys like the philosophy. Let's get on, let's get off. Coach will lay it out there for you.
In regards to the offense, it seemed like there were a lot more pre-snap motions and things. Can you talk about the little things that you're doing differently with the offense than last year?
Yeah, I don't like to play static. I think being static as an offense makes it easier on the defense. These defenses, you listen to our defense out there, Clarence, the way they communicate is elite, and so if we just line up in a certain formation, we kind of let them see things. It's easy for them to not only make their calls, their closed right or left calls, moving their front, setting their fronts, but actually there's tendencies. Everybody goes into a game defensively with tendencies that in this personnel grouping, in this formation, based on where the back is, I'm making up 70% run and 30% pass. Well, really good linebackers and really good defenses that communicate well, there's tells. So when you shift or change the picture or you motion, it helps disguise that a little bit.
Makes
and then,
the
of course, when
process
you're
more.
using your motions, they're very different. Your motions make them adjust on the run. Shifts, they generally can, what we say, reload the front. So if you shift, the defense can reload. But when you motion, they can't because you're snapping the ball on the run. So we have those. We like those. Right now we're playing around with some of the ones that we believe that we'll use, but we change them up pretty regularly.
Okay, I like
I don't know
that.
through the ESPN. Is Micah getting treatment for his back?
Again, when you talk about it right now, I got to go in there and find out what he's got going on today and how he's feeling.
Yeah, the back thing was.
Again, I'll have more information about that here in the next little bit.
And then you talk about how big it's important to know how to practice. There was a moment yesterday where Sam Williams kind of got into a guy back-to-back plays, and you said some words to it. What happened there, and do you think that was just Sam kind of just being happy to practice again after all of last year?
100%. I mean, Sam, look, the journey Sam's been on over the past 11 months, really 12 months, is incredible. We understand why he was so excited to be out there. But again, I showed it to the team today, and I told them, I said, hey, you're going to have an incredible year, but we can't practice like that. When one guy's going at a certain tempo that's prescribed and somebody else gets excited and they go, what happened was, you guys probably saw the play, Neville gets knocked back right into the back's legs, and then there's bodies on the ground and things like that. Does it happen? Sure. But part of us teaching these guys the discipline of doing it the right way is if they make a mistake, which that's all it was. It was a mistake. He was excited. You remove him from practice. You explain why. I walked over immediately to him. He was like, Coach, my bad. I was just excited. I said, I get it. Bring that when we're in pads. Like, we want to see that in pads. It's just right now when you're in helmets and you don't have the protective shoulders, you know, you're getting bull rushed. And guys on the ground, there was way too many guys on the ground, not even that play, because guys get tangled up. And really the number one thing that I don't like about guys on the ground is we can't finish. We can't finish and run and chase the ball and do all the things that we need to from a conditioning standpoint.
The athletic, being the head coach.
It's kind of like, I like that though. He don't want them boys on the ground, because that's also a thing of like, you ain't about to be lazy over here at this practice now. You ain't about to be sitting here loafing it. You know what I'm saying? Just, I fell down, or I got knocked down. I'm on the ground. Let me go ahead and rest the rest of this play. I'm not gonna run the rest of the play up. Okay. I see what you're cooking, Shotty.
Probably not thrilled when the ball is on the ground or there's an interception, but is there any point in maybe after practice you as the head coach are like, damn, I like seeing that from the
Absolutely. Actually, that I get excited. I think, I'll put it out there right now. You guys know me. I don't mind making bold predictions, but I think we're going to be one of the top takeaway teams in the league on defense. Matt Eberflus and his staff have done an incredible job.
Okay, Shotty, I like it. Set the expectation and make your team live up to it. That coincides directly with what I've been predicting as well, as far as the Cowboys probably been one of the league leading sack teams as well. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if they could break their team record for sacks, especially, again, like I said, with the extra game added on with the 18th game of the season, or the 17th game of the season, 18 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Cowboys break that sack record. And if they get a bunch of turnovers, it's going to be because of the pass rush. It's going to be because of those guys coming off the edge. It's going to be because of Micah, Sam, Dante Fowler, Marshawn Nealon, Donovan Ezeraiku, all those guys, Peyton Turner, all those guys. That's why. I like that, Shotty.
If you watch their individual and what they do, it's all ball drills. But what I saw yesterday was great intentionality. Like, again, we can't wrap up right now. We're kind of tagging off, but the intentional punch that these guys do, and the focus, and you see their eyes on the ball. And who had one?
Nice
TP,
gym.
Troy Pride had a great one on Bull, Princeton Fant yesterday.
Nice gym.
That gets me excited, and they're going to make us better offensively by doing it. So other than the pick six by Marshawn Nealon, which Dak says he caught him. He said he tackled him, but I don't know. The film maybe showed that. But I'm excited about what this defense is going to do in terms of taking the ball away. And why does that excite you? It creates momentum. And then we obviously have to go out there and capitalize on that momentum. But my expectation is, because it's the number one thing we talk about in our football mantra, is we have to win the turnover battle. Yesterday the defense won it. We didn't. Today we got to respond.
Nick Harris, Four Star Telegram. Obviously some tense comments between Trevon Diggs and the front office over the past 48 hours. You as a head coach, what kind of communication do you have with him to
I like that question, Nick.
give what you expect out of him whenever he does come back from his rehab? Has there been any communication between you and Trevon?
Yeah, again, I try to support these guys in terms of where they are with their life, but more importantly, just where they are in their headspace. So I have conversations with all those guys, everybody on this team I sit down and talk to, and that's because of the type of person I am. I enjoy the relationship part of it, and my conversation with Trevon in terms of his mindset, he's fine, and the business part of it is the business part of it. And so again, I had great conversations with a number of the guys yesterday, and the business side of it works out.
I'm already exhausted by the Trevon and Micah stuff. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. I'm already exhausted by this drama between them and Jerry. I know Jerry started it, but bro, I'm just
And I know that, but right now the focus is getting this football team ready to go play, not just in the preseason, but looking even to the opening game against Philly.
Feel about the overall functionality of the first practice yesterday? Any kinks you're looking to work out before the past 2 months?
Yeah, I thought the energy was great. I thought that, again, I mentioned too many guys on the ground. I thought it got sloppy late. Our conditioning was a little bit less than what I was hoping for. So I think we'll ramp it up a little bit today, talk to the guys about it. Again, I'm very upfront with the guys. I make it very black and white for them. There's a standard around here how we run the ball, and that wasn't the standard yesterday. We made some adjustments in practice to make it better. It got better, but when you stand up here and you talk about being a championship team, you have a standard of practice. I also tell them this. Every practice we throw, we try to do it better than anybody in the world's ever done it. We did not do that yesterday. Maybe we do it today. We'll see. And that's the standard every day that we're trying to reach.
Tommy Yarsh, DallasCowboys.com.
Okay.
Saw a little bit of Dak under center too yesterday. Maybe all the quarterbacks really under center more. You know, in a league where it seems like shotgun is kind of the formation you typically see offensively, why is it important to keep that in and keep that mixed in when a lot of the college guys coming into are used to that shotgun style?
Yeah, there's a number of things. Obviously, the balance of what you can do, both gun and under. We have both. There's a ton of tells when you're in the shotgun based off the back's location. If the back's offset weak, if the back's offset strong, there's tells. Dak feels like he's back at Mississippi State a little bit, playing under center. But that's really the main reason. We want to be multiple.
Like
you know that.
Hey,
we're gonna
we get Mississippi State, Dak, we're going to be cooking.
be multiple. We're going to be difficult to defend because we're going to be under center. We're going to be in the gun. You haven't seen pistol yet, but pistol's coming for all of our opponents that are listening to me talk right now. There'll be some pistol. There'll be some wildcat. You know, so again, we're going to be multiple, and we're going to attack people.
There's going to be some wildcat? Wildcat with Joe, Turpin, Jaden Blue, CD, or GP. Ooh.
And our system's built to do that.
Coach, yesterday I saw Maris Leofow. Looks like he was diagnosing plays much more quickly and much more efficiently than he was in year one. Can you just talk about his progress and just the expectation that you guys have from him, especially not having overshown on the field for a good chunk of the season? Yeah,
Patrick, I think it's great. He had a really good day. He's obviously incredibly intelligent. I think when you look at the system that we're putting in place on defense, the read and react element is really important, and Marist obviously has a great feel for that. He's one of those guys that has the ability to process tells and things like that. So I think what you saw was accurate. I think it's him getting more and more comfortable in Flus's system. And like I said yesterday, somebody asked me about Marist. I mean, I think, he's a guy that's going to have an incredible second year and really help us, play top-notch defense.
Joe White, Dallas Morning News. You talked about Sam Williams' excitement. Obviously, when you tear an ACL, it can be tough, that rehabilitation progress. In terms of his motivation and excitement building, what did you see of the last year that kind of has led to how excited he was to get back?
The positive nature that Sam has attacked this rehab and this process has blown me away.
Okay. He's
obviously built like a Greek god. He looks incredible. But I like the way he's talking.
Pause.
I like the confidence that he has. Mm-hmm. He said to somebody the other day about, you haven't seen anything yet. So, you like that. That's the way we're going to play defense. What he did yesterday in practice is what you're going to see on Sundays from Sam. But if I was going to point one thing out about Sam, it's just been the positive attacking nature that he's had towards his rehab. I talk about a guy that didn't miss a day in the spring. He was there every day. And it's been fun for me, going back to his rookie year, to watch Sam grow up and realize, man, this is professional football, and I can take care of my family for generations. And, I mean, he's on track to have an incredible year.
Trevon had some carries again, had that in minicamp OTAs a little bit last year as well. What do you see from him as a running back? And, obviously he's a little bit of a smaller guy, but what makes him viable as a potential running back in your guys' system?
Number one, no fear. That's the kick return mentality. There was a outside zone play we ran yesterday where he literally hit the hole, and it was like no fair dodge, and he was going. So no fear, speed. He doesn't need a lot of space. It's just really getting him to understand the tracks. We have different tracks and courses that the backs take. So we do some cross training. You guys have heard us talk about that, but he's just dynamic, man. I mean, the guy's a weapon, and the new kickoff rule is going to help us get him touches. But this is a guy that can impact the game. We were actually doing the install today, and we showed the clip of the play against Houston where he caught the little slant, and no one in the stadium, including Brevin, who was trying to keep up, could touch him. So he's just a guy that we want to move all over the field.
A lot of Turpin usage coming, like that.
I just want to know what you thought about Micah and Trevon speaking jointly to reporters yesterday. Did you like the fact that they were advocating for each other? And the second part to that question is, do you think any of that was a distraction, or do you think most of the guys on the squad understand the business side?
Yeah, I think we're trying to create a family atmosphere. It's one of those things where when I look at our guys and I get a chance to talk to them a lot together, they're going to always support one another. And I'm not even talking about Mike and Trevon. I'm talking about Dak and Joe Milton. Let's talk about CD and George Pickens. I mean, like, here's a guy that we get from Pittsburgh that they say is, trouble and all those things. And, like,
this is
from the
kind
time
of a
he's been
deflection.
here, he's been incredible. And why is that? Is it me? No. Is it CD? I don't know. But it's the culture that we're building here. And so there's a brotherhood being built here. And so I don't read too much into that. And I think that I'm really excited about the family atmosphere we've built here.
That was not a definitive endorsement from Brian Schottenheimer for how they decided to go about doing that yesterday, right? That was not a definitive endorsement. In fact, he deflected from the original question, brought up other things to muddy up the context of the question because he knows very well what she meant by asking him that. He knows very well why that question was being asked. And I don't know if Brian, that was not a ringing endorsement. He said, I'm excited about the family atmosphere we're building. That's not, that right there ain't exactly the family. You can't be saying that supports the family atmosphere when you're kind of fighting the family in a sense. You're fighting the elders of the family. That's what you're doing essentially.
Bill Jones, CBS Sports Texas. What was it that intrigued you about?
And for those of y'all, well, Jerry said, hey, I'm gonna put it like this, man. Since we talking the context of a family, your daddy could say some crazy stuff to you as a kid, or you gonna say the same thing back to him? Hell no, because he gonna punch your chest in. He gonna cave your chest in. So cut it out. Jerry can say what you want, bro. He the daddy of the family, bro. He the owner. Cut it out, bro. Y'all gotta quit acting like that we live in a fairy tale world and everything's even and all things are fair and all things. That's not real life, okay? It's not real life, and it's definitely not real life when you talk about in the context of a structured organization like this is, like this football in general, a structured business. So cut it out.
And how does he fit in on this defense?
Yeah,
Interesting.
size, power, ability to tackle, wrap up, get guys to the ground. He's a very good
Kenneth
blitzer.
Murray.
And what I'm finding now that I'm getting to know K9 a little bit better, that's his nickname, K9, is the leadership that he possesses. He's a little quieter. When you get to know him, he comes out of his shell a little bit, but he's a grown-ass man out there, and he takes charge. He makes a lot of the checks, very smart, wearing the green dot for us and a lot of things we're doing. And again, I go back to when we played the Chargers a couple years ago. They had him and Kendricks and obviously the two edge pieces with Bosa and Khalil Mack. And the most disruptive inside piece on that football team for them was K9.
Ryan, you kind of touched on it a moment ago with CD and George and the relationship that's kind of blossoming there. Can you kind of point to any specific examples over the last few months where you've kind of seen that kind of nurturing take effect, whether it's CD helping him out or George being what others may have said that he was, but him showing that he's actually this instead?
I think I see a ton of things every day. The first thing that caught my eye was when I heard the comment that CD made at some softball game or baseball game where he talked about, we don't talk about ones and twos. You look over there, there's a one. You look over there, there's a one. And it's just a cool relationship. There's mutual respect. They care about one another. But, CD, like I said yesterday, is in a great spot. He knows he's a great player. He knows he's an elite player, but he also knows that he can impact and affect our locker room, our team. And so I think you see a guy that's growing up and having fun.
George told us yesterday sort of about his personality and how it's different from his football persona, and that some adults are not able to understand that those two are different. Have you seen kind of any of that take effect in these early days? Or at least see that there's.
Why are you trying to, bro? Football. We care about football. And I get you trying to get us to get to know George Pickens. We're not gonna get to know George Pickens through Brian Schottenheimer, bro. Ask him some football questions, bruh. No,
I see I see George in meetings. I see George in practice. I see George in the locker room. I see George shoot basketballs, which he didn't shoot very good today. He's happy. He's in a good spot in terms of, I think people that don't know George need to get to know George, because when you get to know George, you're going to be blown away by the heart that the guy has, the way he loves the game of football, how important it is to him, how important his family is to him, his mom. And, it's just it wasn't just CD and George. Like Joe Milton and George hang out all the time. They stream or whatever that's called. They play the video games, and I don't know, but they got these amazing setups. I've seen it, and I'm like, oh. And they've asked me to jump on and sponsor them or pay money to watch. I'm like, hey, I'm good. I'm going to let you guys do that on yourself. But, again, if it's one guy looking out for one guy, it doesn't work. It's 90 guys looking after one another and 90 guys having each other's back. And that's what we're trying to build. Is it finalized yet? No. But we're making a lot of progress in the terms of guys looking out for one another and protecting one another.
Hey, Brian, Pat Tony with NBC in Dallas. I wanted to ask you, we're talking about Sam Williams rehab. I wanted to ask you about DeMarvion Overshown.
There's a lot of Sam Williams questions.
What have you seen? He posted the good news that it sounds like he could be back this season, and the way he has attacked this challenging circumstance that he is facing.
Yeah, stud. Attack is the right word. He has attacked it from the beginning. When you watch him out there working on the bands and whatnot, he pushes everybody he's training with, whether it's Dak, whoever's with him. But what's really cool is you're going to see as we get going now, as we're getting into practice, him spending more time with Flus. Because you can't practice, but you can still watch and you can still learn. And again, Flus is really excited about being able to spend some time with Demo and maybe even have him radio the plays in. Like, it's not just quarterbacks that radio plays in, but he can make the certain calls. A stud 51, whatever. And so I think that's the next step. So he's kicking ass in rehab, doing great, whatever. But now it's about you can still lead from the sideline, and you can still be the green dot or whatever it is by, spending time. And Flus is all excited about doing that, which I think would be great for not just their relationship, but for Demo being locked into what we're trying to do defensively.
Mike Ducey, Fox 4. What can Micah bring to this process, even if he's not fully practicing? And did you see a typical type of Micah enthusiasm on the field yesterday? Yeah, it's the same thing. Again, when you talk about being here and supporting your teammates, I just answered the question about being a family, and I think that's what all the guys are trying to do. And it's not just Micah, it's not just Dak, it's all the players. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention like Tyler Booker. Some of the things that he did yesterday in terms of being a great teammate and some of the leadership stuff that showed up. Like, we've got the right kind of guys, and that was an important part, Deuce, when you talk about what we're trying to build in the draft is let's go get some great football players, but guys that also have the right makeup and that they love and care about football, their family, and I think we've done that.
Right.
Mike, Miles Sanders complimented you by saying you're the kind of guy that no matter what the issue is, he feels comfortable coming to you to discuss it. And although he didn't say that was not the experience where he's been, he kind of hinted that you are the guy that he can come to. Is that something you've laid out? Is that something you've tried to make them guys believe?
Yeah, number one, it's a great compliment from Miles, guy I really respect. Look, hey, I'm an open door policy guy, man. I tell these guys all the time, I've heard a lot in my career. I've said a lot in my career. There's nothing you can say to me that I'm not going to understand all the time, but I'm going to listen. I'm going to give you some feedback, whether it's about life. I'm a father. I'm a husband. Yeah, it makes me feel great. But I think, again, that goes back to the fact that, I don't talk to these guys just about X's and O's. When we're outside the meeting or we're out there on the stretch line, like, it's usually not about football. It's about life. It's about his love for passion or fashion. It's about the things that these guys like to do off the field. And that's not for everybody. That's not for every coach. And that's fine with that. You guys, I say it all the time, I'm going to be who I am. Because when it works, I'll be able to say, hey, I did it my way.
Brad Sham, Cowboys Radio 105.3 The Fan. You mentioned Thomas yesterday, Nate Thomas. What about him has caught your eye from the spring? How competitive do you think he will be as he go forward?
Yeah, another young man, massive, worked his ass off getting back. Another guy had a great spring, worked incredibly hard, was here all the time. We're moving him around. Brad, he's playing multiple spots. He looks really good right now at tackle, if I'm being honest with you. He's a big guy. He's hard to get around. So I love that flexibility that he brings. But again, pads come on, Sunday, and so we'll find out about a lot of these guys. But he's done great, and I think the mental side of it has been at a different level, which normally it is for guys coming from their rookie year to the second year. They understand the system, and even with some of the changes that we've made, he's been really, really good. And great relationship between him and Clayton and Connor Riley. I think that's important as well.
Alrighty.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So the Brian Schottenheimer press conference is over. Not a lot we got from that. Not too much. I'm gonna be honest. Better questions could be asked. Starting to ask questions about bottom of the depth chart guys and stuff like that, man. It's all fine and dandy. Again, I'm waiting for these pads to come on. One thing we did get out of that was Brian Schottenheimer addressing the Trevon Diggs and Micah Parsons situation. He kind of deflected. A little bit. He showed some loose support for those guys, but it wasn't just a staunch, no, I have no issue with what they did. I think that it's great that they're out there supporting each other. Because Brian Schottenheimer the type of guy that if he really felt strongly about that, he would just say that. He did not do that. He deflected around the question. He started bringing other elements into the question. He kind of had a filibuster type of moment, right? So that was interesting, just to kind of see him recoil a little bit when he was asked that question about how Micah and Trevon handled that. And while I agree with the overall sentiment that they had with doing it, I don't necessarily agree with execution, because when you actually watch it in its entirety, interview in its entirety, it's a little strange. It's a little off-putting. It's kind of like weird. It's like, why are these dudes answering questions for each other? And I don't know. It was kind of weird, but I understood it. But again, interesting interview from Brian Schottenheimer. I guess kind of interesting interview from Brian Schottenheimer. Either way, man, hey, Brian Schottenheimer sounds off day 2, Cowboys training camp. We got the coach's interview in the books. And like I promised you guys, I'm going to try to make sure you guys stay locked in with all relevant training camp content as much as possible. Multiple videos per day, whether it be shorts or mini full episodes, whatever it is, y'all going to have content after content after content for training camp. Y'all going to get everything y'all need out of this training camp period from Attack on Cowboys. Anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still in boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still in boys.